So you guys know that I don't really believe in technical analysis. I don't use technical analysis at all in my trading. Technical analysis is bogus. It's a myth. It's all bullshit, right? But you guys also see that sometimes I show my trading platform. You guys see my stock charts, and I do have a few technical indicators on my stock charts. And some of you guys are asking me, hey, DT, if you really don't believe in technical analysis, why do you have technical indicators on your stock charts? And what are these technical indicators? Why do you have them there? Well, let's discuss. So let me switch over to my trading platform. Of course, I use TASTYTRADE as my trading platform, and you guys can see, if I move my head out of the way, we're looking at a stock chart of SPY, and I do have some technical indicators. I have one upper indicator. I have the Bollinger Bands, which are these three lines here, and then at the bottom I have two what are called lower indicators. I have the standard deviation indicator, and then here I have TASTYTRADE's IVR indicator. Now you'll notice a theme with the three indicators that I have shown here, the Bollinger Bands, the standard deviation, and the IV rank indicator, is all of them basically give me a good representation of volatility. They tell me how volatile the stock is. It tells me how volatile the stock has been in the past and where the volatility currently is. And as an options trader, it's all about the volatility to me. I'm not trying to necessarily predict direction. That's what I'm not doing. You know, with technical analysis, the way people typically use technical analysis, they're trying to predict the market. They're trying to guess direction. Typically, they're trying to guess if that next candlestick is going to be a green candle or a red candle. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to know how volatility is acting right now in this particular stock or ETF, whatever it is I'm trading, because the volatility affects the options pricing. And that's really mostly what I have this stuff on for. Now, I'm sure some of you have been in the situation where you're looking at your positions tab and, you know, maybe you have on a bullish trade. Maybe you sold a short put in something and the stock has gone up today, but for whatever reason your P&L went down today. Well, what happened? If I got the direction right, but my P&L is actually red. What's going on? Well, that's probably something with volatility. That probably means volatility increased. An increase in volatility punishes short options. So sometimes you get the direction right, but sometimes volatility goes against you. And that's why I have some of these indicators, especially the IVR indicator. If I zoom way in, let's imagine that a couple of weeks ago, I sold a put in SPY, a naked put. And SPY really hasn't gone anywhere. If you look at the chart, it hasn't gone anywhere in the last couple of weeks. It definitely hasn't gone down. If anything, it's gone up slightly. So a naked short put should have been really profitable for me, but maybe it wasn't. If I'm looking at my P&L right now, it's possible that I'm actually either not up on the trade or maybe even slightly down on the trade. And if I am down, I can tell you right now the reason I would be down on the trade. Because if I sold this put back here, IVR was around 15 or 16, and you can see in the last couple of weeks, IVR has actually went up. It has gone up to nearly 45 here just a few days ago. Right now it's trading around 37, 38. So that is a pretty serious increase in implied volatility rank. And again, if I had a short put on in SPY right now, it's possible that thing would be showing a negative P&L. And if I didn't have this IVR indicator here, I'd probably be kind of confused what's going on. So really, if you're an options trader, for me, if you're using TASTYTRADE as your platform, I think you absolutely need to have this IVR indicator on your charts, because again, it's going to explain a lot about what's going on with some of your currently open positions as far as any weird pricing that you may be seeing. And the other indicators I have here, the Bollinger Bands here on the stock chart, and then the standard deviation indicator here, they both tell me basically information about standard deviation. So if I go into the indicators here, by default, the Bollinger Bands have a period of 20 days or 20 candlesticks. If you're looking at a daily chart, though, it would be 20 days, right? And what it is the outer lines of the Bollinger Bands, that represents a 2 standard deviation move. So the wider the bands, the greater the 2 standard deviation move is. Basically, the more volatile the stock is. And the standard deviation indicator is very similar. Obviously, the higher the standard deviation, the more volatile volatile the stock, the wider the expected movements of the stock are. By default, the standard deviation indicator typically uses a time frame or a length of 14 days, but I set it to 20 days because the Bollinger Bands are 20 days, and I wanted to have both 20 days on the Bollinger Bands and 20 days on the standard deviation. And it's actually, they're practically mirror images of each other. If you follow along with the standard deviation indicator, as it goes up, the Bollinger Bands widen. As the Bollinger Bands tighten, the standard deviation goes down. As they widen again, it goes up. As the Bollinger Bands tighten again, the standard deviation goes down. So essentially, it's the same indicator. They're very similar indicators. I actually find the Bollinger Bands a little bit more useful because if you're the kind of person that likes trading off of moving averages, or you like having specific areas, for example, if you actually wanted help picking a strike, for example, a short put, well, maybe the Bollinger Band, the 2 standard deviation move here, which currently is 560. Now, maybe that's the one you want to go to. So, go to maybe 69 days. 560 was where that, 2 standard deviation, that's over 20 days. That's a 2 standard deviation move. But in this case, it's a 30 delta put. Maybe that gives you some indication of where you want to be placing trades. Now, I in no way base my decisions off of anything chart pattern related or anything. I don't use the Bollinger Bands in that way, but I know some of you guys do use the Bollinger Bands that way. And if you do, hey, more power to you. Use what works for you. Again, I'm mainly using all of these indicators basically as a gauge of the volatility in the stock, and especially if I'm seeing any kind of weird pricing on my currently open positions. Typically, these indicators give me a good idea of what's going on. For those of you that want to help support the channel, please consider subscribing to the DT Options Discord server. I hold a live 1-hour voice chat there for the first hour of each and every trading day. And typically we talk about what the market's doing, what I'm trading. You guys can share what you're trading. We can bounce trade ideas off of each other. We got a nice little trading group over there in the DT Options Discord. You'll find a link in the description below. Peace, guys.